Welcome, everybody, to the Rink Podcast, episode 57. I know, that's a lot. Puff, who is it? Who is it this week?
My favorite Canadian-American. No, one of the only ones I really know of. Number 57, Tyler Myers, giant of a man, born in Texas, and he played for Canada at the World Juniors. That's the first time I remember seeing him. Huh. He's bounced around the NHL a bit. His brother, half-brother, plays in the NBA, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. I will get back to you on that one.
And so what makes him Canadian? Like he has a dual citizenship?
Dual citizen. Yeah, dual citizen.
So born in Texas, dual citizenship.
Yeah. And,
you know who else has that?
Who?
Win Butler, who is the lead singer of the Arcade Fire, is from Texas, but also dual citizenship. And
really,
Arcade Fire is known as a Canadian band, even though the two brothers, or at least the older brother, was born and raised in Texas for a big chunk of his life until he moved to Montreal to go to McGill, and then essentially planted his roots there.
Because we really claim them as Canadian.
We do. So they're like a Canadian American thing. Isn't Brett Hall the same? Is it Brett Hall a Canadian?
Yep, Brett Hall played for the U.S.
He played for the U.S., but he's Canadian, right?
But he could have played for Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
I say he didn't because he couldn't have made our team.
Oh.
He wasn't good enough. No, he was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I thought he was like an all-star, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was very good.
Yeah.
We actually are looking for a American goalie with Canadian citizenship who can play for us at the Four Nations Cup, because right now the goaltending options are not great for Team Canada.
No, who is our options there? I don't even know.
Right now, it looks like it's going to be Jordan Binnington, who he won the cup a couple years ago.
What's he from?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Okay.
Yeah. Under Berube.
Yeah, with Berube. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, wicked. Well, that's good. How was your week this week, Puff? How was hockey? How have you guys been progressing?
It was actually a pretty good week for the Ticats. The older boys had 3 tough games over the weekend and won all 3, so they're nice. Doing really well. They're on a roll right now. And the younger guys, we lost both our games, but both good efforts, tight affairs that we were really coming along. I will say on Tuesday at Cummer Park, we played Markham, and we lost 5-3, but it was a great game. We played well, had our chances. But the referee was maybe the best performance I've ever seen from a referee. And the calls went in our way.
What do you mean the best performance? What do you mean by that?
Like, he did not put up with anything. He's exactly what I want from a GTHL referee. He's like, he was on top of it. He made the calls. He made his call, and that was it. There was no, he wasn't going to discuss it. And their bench was screaming at him the whole game. And we were just sitting back and letting it unfold. And there was a couple calls that definitely went our way later in the game, which was nice. And at the end of the game, we won. We lost 5-3, so they win. And their coaches were still going on about it. And he kicked them both out of the game. So
It
was fantastic. Yeah, he
really?
wasn't putting up with any guff. Yeah, he was awesome.
Oh. Wow. Yeah. That's a Yeah, he kicked it. So did they get a suspended? Does that work like with a suspension?
I don't know. They might got suspended. I don't know. I think you can get kicked out of a game without being suspended. But the way, I'm not sure. I don't know. I just know he kicked them both out at the end.
And then you're off to Guelph, aren't you? Now today?
So we are leaving for Guelph tomorrow morning. We're lucky we don't have.
We're recording this Thursday, so
Thursday night. Yeah,
so Friday morning you're heading to Guelph.
Yeah, so we're leaving in the morning. Our first game's not till about 11:15, so Austin and I will get up and go. And looking forward to a weekend in Guelph. I've never been there. It's a place you've lived for a number of years. And
I was there last week. Yeah.
You were there last week, yeah?
Yeah, I've got a lot of I have to go to Guelph every so often for work, so it's I like going there. University is great.
We got a parents' dinner planned for Friday night. So
where at, do you know?
I can't remember the spot.
Yeah,
I'll let you know though.
Yeah, you'll have a great time in Guelph. It's a good time. Downtown's fun. You can't beat it. It's a good university town. So we've said that before. So that's good. So you're off to Guelph, and that's with Austin's team. That's with the younger team, and then Barrett's team is staying back. Has some regular season games for this weekend.
They only play. Yeah, they play Sunday. So we only have a conflict if Austin's team makes it to the semis.
Right. So is everyone going to Guelph for the weekend then?
Barrett's coming up Friday night. I'm driving him back Saturday because he's got some stuff in the city, and then I'll go back up. So
Nice.
So, but yeah, we'll mostly be there, and the grandparents are coming. Tandy's parents are coming, so that's nice.
Full family affair.
Yeah.
I love it. That's good.
How about yourself?
Well, we had a good week. We had, I think, since last time we talked, we went to North Toronto. We lost that game, but a good game. It was kind of like a turning point game. It felt like a little bit. We've been
Okay.
having a rough start. This is the U15 team. We've had a slower start. Rough was maybe harsh, but we've had a slower start. And we didn't win, but kind of similar to you, it felt like we were getting the oil back in the joints and moving well,
Yeah.
and sort of getting things going. However, we couldn't pull it out. We almost scored at the end to tie it up, which would have been nice, but we ended up losing. But we did get, unfortunately, I'm gonna mess it up. We had an incident from the other team with slew footing. Is that what it's called? Or
Slew footing.
slew footing. Yeah. So one
SLEW.
of our players was slew footed, and so that person got like a 5-game suspension from
5. Wow, they're not
I
messing
believe a
around.
4 or 5 game. Yeah, it was pretty upsetting and pretty unnecessary. So that was like sort of the drama of that game. And then we went on and we played Leaside and we played Golding Park, and both we won, which was nice. So we've gotten those back up, a couple wins that were coming off this week of playing. And we played up at Herb Carnegie, which I know is everyone's favorite rink. A lot of people love the Herb Carnegie.
It's definitely top 3 for me.
I've never tried the snack bar. Have you?
Yes, I wouldn't say the snack bar is anything to write home about.
Right. So we're going to come back to Herb Carnegie. And so we had that. And then with the Clivers team, we had a game, an exhibition game against Guelph where we didn't do very well, actually, up in Milton. We played that last weekend. And then we played the Humber Valley, I guess is what they're called, up at Weston Arena. And I did a couple posts about their fries because that's the place where everyone talks about their fries. We talked about it a bit last year. But I've bought them. I tried them. I've got some footage. We're going to go. I'll share that, and then we're going to go a toe-to-toe Fries Ted Reeve versus Weston. That's going to be coming up shortly. Maybe next week we'll have that voting. We did a Chestwood versus Ted Reeve Fry on the Instagram. I don't know if you saw that poll.
I did see that poll.
Ted Reeve won with a 60-40. Yeah. I actually thought it would be a bigger win.
I would have thought it would have been a bigger margin. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had both fries, both within like 48 hours of each other, and I definitely think the Ted Reeve fries were better, but most people, 40% of the population thought otherwise.
We were at Scotiabank on Tuesday night. Still no parking spot for us yet, so that's a disappointment.
Yeah,
but Austin got the fries and gravy. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It's the same supplier, I'm assuming, from Chestwood and Westwood. Because
it's okay. It's nowhere close to Ted Reeve, and North Toronto's got it. So, but the Weston one, I am curious about.
So I will be posting the Weston. That will be the big drama, which is the Ted Reeve fries versus the Weston fries. We've asked for suggestions on Instagram. No one else has given us really any other major arena to go to that's in the G. So I think we've nailed down the 2 top fry places so far. Yeah. Now, if anyone else thinks any different, please let us know. But that's what's going to be. I did a lot of footage, so I'm going to try to put together a nice reel for the Weston fries. But coming back to Herb Carnegie, great arena. Everyone loves it. Haven't tried anything from their snack bar. I wasn't hungry last night, so I didn't do it, but I got to give that one a shout out. But you know what they have there is a press box. You don't see press boxes too much, do you?
They have one at North Toronto.
Yes, they do.
They have a press box.
Jack Hughes press box, I believe, is what it's called there. If I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember what it is. I've always wanted to just go up there and watch the game up there.
Yeah,
but there's not too many. You're right. There's not too many.
So some of the press boxes have like a dedication to them, like a name to them. So the one at Herb Carnegie is called the Jack Curly Davies or the Curly Davies press box. Do you know who Curly Davies is?
No idea.
Would you like to know who Curly Davies is?
I would love to.
Okay. Well, funny you asked, Puffy. We're talking about Curly Davies, who is the press box at Herb Carnegie. He was a beloved figure, a significant figure in the Toronto hockey community, born and raised in Toronto. He had a junior career with the Ontario Hockey Association, OHA. He was a forward. After he was done playing, he went on to be a coach, and he really brought his on-ice skills to the bench, and that really helped a lot of the players. He particularly did this with the Toronto Marlboros, is who he was affiliated with. However, before that, he was with the Kitchener-Waterloo Green Shirts, which was part of the OHA. In 1953 to the 54 season, he had a 27, 27, and 5 record. His involvement with the Marlboros, he became deeply involved with them, serving in various capacities, including executive roles, executive leadership. He served as the executive with the Marlboros, providing and playing a pivotal role in the team's operation and strategic direction. He was also a coach. He took on the coach and managerial roles, directly influencing the development of players and teams' on-ice performance. And he was instrumental in nurturing young talent, many who advanced on to become young professional hockey players. He was involved in the community beyond team operations. He was involved with promoting hockey within the Toronto community, emphasizing youth participation and development, and played a pivotal role in that. So he had a Memorial Cup success under his leadership. The Marbles secured multiple Memorial Cup championships.
Okay.
It doesn't have the years here, but he was obviously a big part of the Marbles organization, which was a big part of the Toronto hockey scene. He has a legacy at Herb Carnegie Arena. In recognition of his contributions, the press box at Herb Carnegie Arena was named in his honor. He was an advocate for diversity. He supported initiatives to make hockey more inclusive, aligning with the values of Herb Carnegie, who we know as a Black Canadian hockey pioneer.
Yes.
So he's had various awards in hockey community, and he played a key role in really sort of a lot of things, particularly with the Marlboros. So that is a little bit about Curly Davies. It's not always easy to find stuff about these names you see on walls, by the way. I want to let you know. It's not the easiest thing sometimes. You get a lot of very vague information. So,
and it's nice when you can talk about these older people in a positive light too. Sometimes their histories aren't always as good as
the press box will remain named Curly Davies.
Yes,
for now. Yeah.
And also, not too many. You don't get Curlies anymore.
No one gets the name. I feel back in the olden days, it was like you would have like, oh, this is Jack Curly Davies, or whatever. Yeah. It was always in quotations. You don't really see that anymore. No one says this is Grant G. Cat Caton. No one says that. That's not written anywhere.
No, it's definitely changed. Yeah.
And Curly's like an old timey name.
Old timey nickname. Yeah. A lot of Curlies, but
it's like pork chops and applesauce. You say just doing one of those. All right. So anyway, a little bit about Curly Davies and my time at Herb Carnegie. I got to go check out their fries. But with that, I think it's a great segue into what's going on in the G. And remind me when Stoff comes on here, I got to talk to him a bit about the Vaughan Kings that I saw last night. I know that's his team. He'll be excited on what I share with him on the pump up that they did there that I saw after Aussie's game. But with that, why don't we run over to the Stoff market? Tell everyone what's up. Welcome to the Stoff is in the market.
Yes. I'm in the market and we're ready to go here, boys. Another edition of the Stoff Market. And looking at the calendar, it's pretty hard to believe that we're just over a month away from the GTHL Christmas break. Now, we had some huge games this past week in the G, and none was bigger than Tuesday's U16 AAA clash of the Titans and Flyers at the Vic. Puffy, who came out on top?
That is true stuff. It was a battle of the top two teams in the 2009 age group, and it was a packed house at Vic Village. I can only imagine the parking lot overflow was much needed. Did I make the trip to watch the action in person? I sadly did not, as I had my own men's league game at the same time. But I immediately turned on Live Barn when I got home from my game to catch the tape-delayed action. And the game did not disappoint unless you are a die-hard Titans fan. The action was fast and furious. Big hits, including a scary collision in the neutral zone that left one Titans player injured. The turning point of the game was a Titans goal that was called back after they appeared to score to narrow the Flyers' early 3-1 lead. However, when the Flyers goalie left the net, the puck fell out of the back of his jersey. The referees met and collectively ruled it no goal, with the Flyers rolling from there, winning 8-1. Amazing moment in this game to show the dominance of the Flyers. They managed to control the puck for 1 minute and 33 seconds on a delayed penalty call to the Titans. I have wondered why teams with a lead don't try to kill some clock during a delayed penalty, and it just shows you how on their game this DMF team is.
Well, Puffy, it seems to me like we will remember the Flyers as they are separating themselves from the rest of the pack at the U16 AAA level. But are there any other teams in that division making a charge up the standings?
There is stuff, and it's the Toronto Marlboros. The Marlboros were a GTHL juggernaut throughout the early 2000s and 2010s. Think Connor McDavid, Jack Hughes, John Tavares, among others. But lately, they have been passed by a few other organizations. Well, the 2009 team is making a push to crack into the top three in this age group for the first time since before COVID. A 5-game winning streak has them hot on the heels of JRC for third place, and a favorable schedule coming up could see them in great position when they face the Canadiens next in mid-December.
Okay, well, that's going to be a huge game. Do I smell a watch party at Puffy's?
Yes, you do.
That live barn's going to be going. All right, so we covered the U16 AAA loop. What other teams in the G are rolling through the regular season?
A huge game coming up next week in the U10 AA out west with the third ranked in Ontario and undefeated Vaughan Panthers hosting the 15th ranked and undefeated in league play Mississauga North Stars at Vaughan Sports Village next Monday night. The North Stars have a tough weekend ahead as they play the third place and 20th ranked Faustina Toros on Sunday. The 2015 U10 AA age group is very strong in the G as the East Division is led by the 11th ranked North York Knights, who are also perfect in league play. And sticking with AA action, I was fortunate to catch an incredible game at the U11 2014 age group last Sunday when the 7th ranked in Ontario East Ender Ticats hosted the first place and 15th ranked Ted Reeve Thunder. Very little separated these teams until a third period shorthanded goal by the Ticats was the difference in a 1-0 win. Last season, this Ticats team was miles ahead of the competition, but even with them raising their own game, the rest of the East has closed the gap in what has become a very competitive loop.
All right, so we covered the AAA and the AA. What is catching your eye in the single A loop, Puffy?
The single A loop is providing lots of entertainment as always this season, and if you think the intensity or passion is any lower, you're kidding yourself. Loop has caught my eye this week in the 2010 single A West Division. Just 7 teams in this division compared to 13 in the East, but the top of the West is as good as anyone in the province. Huge game last Saturday at Lambton Arena when the second-ranked in Ontario Toronto Eagles faced off against the third-ranked in Ontario Toronto Avalanche. Interesting note is the Toronto Eagles are also second-ranked AA team in this age group, so the organization is very deep in 2010 talent. That talent was on full display against the Avs with 1 goal late in the first and another in the first minute of the third, the difference in a 2-0 Eagles win. This division should be a great battle all season long.
Sounds to me like the Eagles are getting it going. Lots of positivity this week, Puffy. But what's bothering you in the G?
Well, Stoff, for the safety of the goalies and players on the ice, it's great the nets have pegs that move quite easily to lessen the chance of injury if a player crashes into the net. However, this leads to the nets being knocked off most games, sometimes several times, especially as the goalies are getting older and bigger. My issue is the refs or linesmen who blow the whistle as soon as the net gets bumped off, no matter how slightly. Most times they could easily put the net back on without interfering in play. Last night, in a first-place showdown between the U12 AA East Division rivals EastEnders and North Toronto, an incredible tying goal late in the third by Harry Doucette was not allowed because the net happened to be inches out of position, not impacting the goal at all. Of course, the game ended in a 1-goal loss for the Ticats, and an incredible hockey moment was lost forever. Come on, refs and linesmen, let's be more aggressive trying to get the nets back in place without stopping play in the game.
I have to agree with you on that. I feel like every game I watch now, the net comes off, and it could be really easy for the goalie to just put it back on,
or the linesman,
or whoever. Like I do feel like I see that more often than not, and I don't know if it's more of a move now or if the pegs aren't doing what they're supposed to do, but I do see it getting knocked off a lot more often now.
Well, the goalies are big, and the way they're being coached is to sort of use the post to push off, when they're going side to side. So that's fine. But sometimes, when you're going to push on something that's not like drilled in, it's going to move. And I just think the linesman could easily just go over there and just push it back into place. I get if it's like somebody crashes through the net.
Yeah, that's different.
And it gets knocked flying. It's different. But most of the time, it's just a slightly bumped off, and they're blowing the whistle or they're calling back goals when it really isn't impacting what's happening on the ice.
Yeah. Okay, good. Stoff, you love the Von Kings.
With all my heart.
So yesterday, Ozzy had a game at Herb Carnegie, talked about it, played Golding Park.
Yes.
Post game was the Toronto Marlboros versus the Von Kings U15.
Mm-hmm.
We had to go, so I couldn't watch the game. But, I'm waiting for Ozzy to come out of the change room. And so he's on one side of the hallway and we're waiting there. And on the other side of the hallway is the Von Kings team getting ready. I have to tell you, first of all, their stretching and their getting ready pre-game was pretty significant. They were up in at Herb Carnegie, there's a run around pad. They were up there doing sprints, stretches. They had music. They had their individual sort of routines going. You could see they took it really seriously.
My boys.
Yeah, for sure. They were up there really working hard. But
is that not what Ozzy's team does?
It sounds like this is an A-B comparison.
Yeah. It's like it's unfair, really. You put me on the spot on that one. No. And but what they did to get on the ice was pretty cool. So they were all dressed, ready to go. The Zamboni's going. The Zamboni's finishing. They cue the song. They have this huge speaker. It's blasting some EDM music that has this build-up part. And I don't know if they meant to time it perfectly, but the build-up was timed perfectly with the Zamboni driving off the ice. And so they were ready to jump on the ice. And how they did is they all just started getting into the music. You could see it. I'm just watching them and they're just jumping, getting pumped up. They're pushing each other and getting everyone going. And then there's one kid at the back that's just okay, it's good to go, good to go. And they go, yeah. And he just goes, let's go, boys. And he runs right through the whole crew, jumps on the ice running, and then single file behind them, in a wedding party, the back two guys just keep following and following. They all run on the ice. And me and a couple of parents are we're pumped. We're pumped for the Von Kings. It was an exciting entrance. I have no idea if they won the game. I have no idea if they're the U15 team, how they do, but quite an exciting entrance for them. And you could see they were bringing at the very beginning, they were full of positivity and optimism and energy to win that game.
I can tell you what happened. They lost 2-1 to Toronto Marlboros, and a bit of an upset, but that Von Kings is very good. They're one of the best teams in Ontario.
Yeah, it was quite impressive. I could see why.
Maybe a little too much energy exerted in the pregame, though.
Yeah, maybe. But I was impressed. I left with Von Kings up in my books.
Yeah.
Did you videotape it?
I thought about it, but then I was like, I don't want to be the guy taping 15-year-olds. So I didn't.
Probably the right decision.
But I was like, this would be
a cool
shot. And at least now you'll be allowed back in that arena.
That's right. That's right.
Well, it's a big one. I know someone involved with that team, so I'm going to see if they can videotape it for us.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was I was
a cool
impressed.
Thing to show.
Yeah, they did it right.
Terrific. Go Kings.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, that's another edition of the Stoff Market. Until next week, I bid you farewell.
See you, Stoff. Thanks for coming in. So with that, do you have, that's obviously a tradition or something they do, maybe. Do you have any superstitions when you're watching, your boys' games or whatever? Is there things you do, tap the puck or touch the wall or, don't do this? Is there something you do superstitious wise?
No, I wouldn't say. I used to be more when I was younger with stuff. When I'd be watching my favorite teams play, I'd sit in a certain spot or I'd do something. I do for watching the boys, I'll always sort of stand at our end of the rink. I will never I don't really like to venture into the other rink. That'd be my only thing that I kind of sort of always do, whether it's for good luck or just for I don't want to be amongst the other team yelling at the kids.
I have traditions, which some traditions will break. Like at Ted Reeve, I always stand under the scoreboard because I just find sight line is better. But if someone were to say, come over here or whatever, I would move it. It's not like a superstition. It's a tradition more. But I have a superstition, which is I don't look at my phone once the game starts. Doesn't matter.
Really?
I don't look at it during the flood. I don't look at it during. I may have my headset on and be listening to a podcast, but if the podcast ends, I don't go and change it if it doesn't automatically change. I refuse to look at my phone. And sometimes it's bad because I can feel text going off, and I was like, "Is there emergency happening?"
Yeah.
And I have this thing every time I do look at it, because the odd time I do look at it, because I feel like, okay, like obviously someone's texting me a lot here or something. So, and then every time I do, the other team seems to score. So I've made it a superstition not to look at my phone during the game, once the game starts. And then the only time I break that is if we're already losing like a ton, and then I'll like whatever.
So if
but
I'm ever betting against Ted Reeves' U16 single A team, I'm going to just text bomb you so that you'll finally look like it's something serious.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a few odd superstitions like that, but that last night as I was watching the game, I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, I wonder if Puffy has any superstitions, because I try not to look at my phone.
I definitely do not have that one, because I had live barn going on. I sometimes watch a live barn another game while the kids' game's going on.
Right. Yeah. So, I've done that. Like on Sundays, I'll watch a football game sometimes, but usually it's someone else's phone I try to get. Like I try to make it, but I know it's a superstition, which I mean, I know it has no power over the game, but still, Hey,
if it makes you feel better, it works for me.
Yeah. So other than that, I'm off to Buffalo, hanging up here. Nice. I'm driving to Buffalo. I'm going to the Gene Harrington tourney. We're at Riverworks Outdoor tomorrow. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, you got a Riverworks game tomorrow, eh?
We got a Riverworks game tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. That's a great spot.
Yeah, I like it.
I would love to see, that bar, like it's almost like a club they have there.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see that place bumping when 2 p.m. on a Friday with like 1,000 people in there with a DJ going. That would be outstanding.
Yeah, it is it's a neat little spot. I mean, it's so tucked away there and very industrial looking, but you get in there and it's kind of this cool little scene going on there.
Oh, it's I think we're missing out that we don't have a Riverworks
in Toronto
place in Toronto. We definitely should have. Couldn't you put it down by like the docks?
Yeah. You could do it there. You could do it. It would be cool. It'd be cool to have something like that, like even on the island.
Yeah.
Like something like sort of built like that on the island.
Mm-hmm. It'd be fantastic.
I wonder if there's an ice rink on the island. You know who would know? Wayne. Sorry, I just call him Dwayne. Wayne from our team. He lived on the island.
Really?
Yeah. One of the dads I hang out with. I'm going to ask him. He'll tell me.
Not too many people that I've ever met or know of that have lived on the island.
Yeah. He lived on. His kid played for Leaside when they lived on the island, so they would take the ferry across and then go play up at Leaside. Yeah. Interesting, eh?
Wow.
Yeah, you don't meet a lot of people, even though you look at it, it's right there. I mean, it's not far.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could build a Riverworks outdoor at the island. That would be cool. And then, like when teams from out of town come in, it's kind of neat for them. I know it makes no logistical sense for us who live in the city, but it's more of an adventure and an occasion to go do it, right?
The one thing is, it would be pretty cool. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, if you're from like Barrie, and take the ferry over to the island, and whatever. So anyway, coming back to real life, I'm heading to Buffalo. So heading there tonight after Aussie's practice, and photo day is tonight. So we got that, and then we're off, and I'll be there for the day tomorrow, and then back because Aussie's got a couple games this weekend. Playing up at Chestwood on Saturday, and I don't know who we're playing Saturday, but we're playing I think the Shamrocks one game, and then on Sunday night we're playing someone else. I don't know. I'm terrible at this game. So anyway, but yeah, we got a couple games this weekend.
Nice. Well, there is a lot of huge games going on for tournaments this weekend. The U15 2010 AAA tourney this weekend in Detroit. The second ranked in North America, Little Caesars, are hosting it. It's the best of the best in this age group. 5 of the top 6 ranked G teams in Ontario will be taking part. The Markham Majors, JRC, Mississauga Senators, Stoss Vaughan Kings, and Don Mills Flyers, who are the only team this year to beat the host Little Caesars. And another big Silver Stick regional is happening this weekend in Pembroke, Ontario, for the U15 AA division, where West Hill's trying to book their spot in the Port Huron finals. And other G teams are heading to Stony Creek for a tournament. And as you mentioned, the tournament in Buffalo. So there's a ton of tournaments this weekend.
It's a good tournament weekend.
A lot of games. It's
like not
good
quite
time of year to
Christmas.
travel.
Yeah, it's the time of year to travel. So I was wrong. We're playing the Toronto Arrows and the Scarborough Ice Raiders Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
Shamrock.
Are they winnable games?
No idea. It's hard to say. I love our team, but it's hard to say any of them. We're unpredictable. And that makes us scary because we can play really
watch
well.
though.
Yeah, fun watch.
A fun watch for sure.
Anyway, it'll be fun. With that, I guess we're at the end. Is there anything else, Puff, you got on your mind that you want to get off? Otherwise, we can go to the song of the week.
Yeah, I think it's song of the week time.
Song of the week time. Do you want to go first this week?
I can, yeah. So my song of the week is a banger from years past. It's I believe it's a mashup before mashups were everywhere. It's Jay-Z and Linkin Park's Numb, just a fantastic tune. It's one that's like one of the old school ones that would get you fired up before game.
Yeah, they're coming to town. They just announced Linkin Park.
Did they?
Toronto. Yeah.
Do you know who their lead singer is now?
Yeah, it's a girl singer that they have in the spot
okay.
now, and she's from another band. I forget what that band's called, but not nearly as famous. But yeah, they've been practicing and playing with her. They've done a couple shows, and they just announced a world tour. So yeah, Linkin Park. There you go. Well, mine is a band that just announced their Toronto shows, and I just bought tickets today, and I ended up getting 2. So really happy. I haven't bought concert tickets in a while, if I'm being honest, just because I feel like concerts just been this race to like really expensive tickets. Oasis and Taylor Swift and like everything, and Metallica. All these tickets are just like crazy, and I wasn't going to pay that. And so, but there's this band called Goose. I don't know if you've ever heard of Goose.
Never heard of Goose.
They're a jam band. They're like the new Fish. If it was Grateful Dead brought Fish, Fish brought Goose. So Goose is new.
Okay.
I don't know much about them. I think they're from like upstate New York or Connecticut, that area. Anyway, they're playing for the first time in Toronto, from what I know, at History, 2 nights, February 10th and 11th. I got tickets to the 10th. I tried to get both nights. Nice. And they have this song called White Lights. And the White Lights song is, I don't know what it is about it. It's a poppy little jam. And anyway, great band. If you guys like good old jam band music that can make you dance and smile and feel good, check out Goose. They basically do a lot of live albums is what they do, and they have this song called White Lights that I really love. So White Lights by Goose, and I'll be going to see them in February.
Nice. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
It is funny, like those bands like Grateful Dead and Fish, how like loyal their fans are.
Oh, incredibly
and
loyal.
Like they'll travel and like what's this guy? Dave Matthews has a bit of that feel to him.
Oh yeah, he has that too. No, I found out by Goose by these people I met, and they're like, the guy I met has gone to Florida and Tennessee and like other places to go see this band Goose. Like he has already traveled to the U.S. to see them. Now they're coming to Toronto.
But it's funny because it's like they're not like what you would say, like they're not like popular in a casual person way. It's like it's weird. It's like these bands who like most people would never know their music,
and then they just get this.
But then they'll have these loyal fans that are just do anything to see them play. That's
it. Well, there you go, Goose, and check them out. So anyway, back to the G. Hope everyone has a great week in the G. Good luck in Guelph, Puffy.
Thank you. Good luck in Buffalo.
Game. Yeah, thank you. And drive safe. Everyone heading to tournaments. Everyone have a great time in the G. Stoff, thanks very much for putting on the pod for us. And check us out everywhere you can. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all the great streaming platforms. And if you have a superstition, I forgot to mention this, feel free to send it to us. We'd love to hear what superstitions are going on out there, because I know I'm not alone in having some weird sort of superstitions about it. So with that, thanks for listening to episode 57. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining to the Rink Podcast.